We're not talking about a real end-of-life situation with Terri. She was a woman with a serious brain injury, and because of that had difficulty swallowing. Doctors believe that she was a candidate for rehabilitation therapy.
She had a dramatic, never-failing response to her mother's touch.
Our only intention from the beginning was to simply bring Terri home and care for her.
Terri, open your eyes.
Well, there were more doctors on record that believed Terri was not in a persistent vegetative state than doctors that believed that she was. It defines someone as being unresponsive, unable to interact with their environment, follow commands, all of which were completely false in Terri's case.
There you go, good. Good! Good job! Good job, young lady! Good job!
You stood with a grace and a dignity that made your family proud.
By order of the government, a healthy young woman was denied food and water until she died.
The question then becomes a pretty stark one. Do we believe in the sanctity of all human life, or do we believe in the sanctity of some?
What happened to Terri wasn't isolated. It's happening every single day. If you look at the number of those that are being deemed as unworthy of life or too costly, knowing that food and water has now been redefined as medical treatment, it makes it relatively easy to deny it to these individuals. We now have a society that are making decisions based on their best interest, perhaps based on their bottom line, that are deciding to kill individuals. And that's where we come in. We're fighting against this attitude, this mentality, that people like Terri with these types of brain injuries have no meaning in life, and therefore we can continue to rationalize killing them. We don't know enough about the brain. With new research, there are things that we're learning about the brain almost every day. Brendan Flynn is really quite a remarkable story. Well, he was involved in a fatal car accident. Doctors felt there was no meaningful hope for recovery. Told the mom the best thing for Brendan would be put him in a room and let him die. And his mom said no. He did survive that initial trauma. Brendan went on to receive rehabilitation and therapy. And today Brendan is married, has a beautiful young child, and he actually goes out now and speaks about what happened to him. During the battle to save Terri's life, we recognized that there was really no organizations that were out there that were in a position of helping individuals or families when they have someone, a loved one, that is facing death by euthanasia. We focus on three things right now: awareness, education, and helping other families, getting directly involved in cases where families call us for help. We have begun the process now of establishing the first Terri Schiavo Recovery Center or Rehabilitation Center in the Philadelphia area to help individuals that are really falling in the gap. We want this to be a state-of-the-art facility where they are going to get a full spectrum of rehabilitation therapy services. We want to staff this with the best therapists and the best people possible, so when they come here it's going to feel more like their home rather than a type of sterile hospital. Right now our biggest need is people and funds. We know this is going to be a very expensive project. I believe this is, like in many ways that God does, is testing us and how we're going to respond and how we're going to take care of these individuals that really are our most vulnerable people among us. But I think once people learn about what we want to do and the fact that there are so many individuals that are falling in this gap and are being warehoused and neglected, that I think when people learn what we want to do, they will want to support us and help us because there is a tremendous need to help these individuals. And that's what we're trying to do, is to help these people. We don't take credit for any of this. It's only because of what Terri went through. My sister, I know it often gets lost, the type of person Terri was. We were very close. She had this great personality, this wonderful sense of humor about her, where you could always tease her and make fun of her, and she would always laugh at herself. And she was very close to her family, particularly her grandparents, and she was always very protective of her family. But we were like, Terri and I were especially in our more adult years, we were attached at the hip. We were together all the time, and just had a lot of fun together. I always tell people, because they ask me what was Terri like, and I always tell people that have been supporting us that they would have been very proud of the person that they were fighting for.